Good morning. This is a recording for Friday, April 19th. As some of you may recognize, I am on Long Island. It's freezing. It's 13 degrees Celsius, 45 Fahrenheit. So I am outside kind of on a porch, and this is the best view I can do for today. Sorry. Anyway, today we will start exploring the second element of building shame resilience, which is practicing critical awareness about your shame web. In the practice part of our session, we will do a self-reflection exercise again. So if you're keeping a journal and want to write down your answers, please have it handy. First, let's create the distinction between awareness and critical awareness. Just awareness is knowing that something exists. Critical awareness is knowing why it exists, how it works, how our society is impacted by it, and who benefits from it. The concept of critical awareness is sometimes also called critical consciousness or critical perspective. It's the belief that we can increase personal power by understanding the link between our personal experiences and larger social systems. When we look at the 12 shame categories, appearance and body image, motherhood, fatherhood, family, parenting, money and work, mental and physical health, sex, aging, religion, being stereotyped and labeled, speaking out, and surviving trauma, most of us have not been taught how to see the connection between our private lives and social, political, and economic influences. Brené Brown says, shame works like the zoom lens on a camera. When we're feeling shame, the camera is zoomed in tight, and all we see is our flawed selves, alone and struggling. We think to ourselves, I am the only one who feels this way. Something is wrong with me. I am alone. When we zoom out, however, we start to see a completely different picture. We see many people in the same struggle. And rather than thinking, I am the only one, we start thinking, I can't believe it, you too. That means I'm normal? I thought it was just me. Once we start to see the big picture, we are better able to reality check our shame triggers against the social community expectations that fuel shame. Brené Brown writes, I think the best way to learn critical awareness is to apply the concepts to a real issue. And let's start by looking at the issue of appearance and body image. I like to use this issue as an example because it is an almost universal shame trigger. To begin to understand the big picture, we need to ask the following big picture questions about appearance. What are the social community expectations around appearance? Why do these expectations exist? How do they work? How is our society influenced by these expectations? And who benefits from them? While each of us would probably have specific answers to these questions based on our age, race, ethnicity, etc., for the purpose of the example, I'm going to respond with broad, general answers. First, what are the social community expectations around appearance? From a societal level, appearance includes everything from hair, skin, makeup, weight, clothing, shoes, and nails to attitude, confidence, age, and wealth. If you pile on community-specific expectations, you might also have to add things like hair texture, hair length, skin color, facial and body hair, teeth, looking done up, not looking done up, clothing and jewelry, and the list goes on. Now let's examine why these appearance expectations exist. I would say they exist to keep us spending our valuable resources, money, time, and energy, on trying to meet some ideal that is not really achievable. Think about this. Americans spend more each year on beauty than on education. The third question is, how does it work? These appearance expectations are both obvious and subtle. They are everything we see and everything we don't see. If you read fashion magazines or watch TV, you know what you are quote unquote supposed to look like and how you're supposed to dress and act. And if you look hard enough, you also see everything that's missing, the images of real people. If you combine what's there and what's missing, you quickly come to believe that if you don't look a certain way, you become invisible. You don't matter. Which brings us to the next question. What is the impact of these expectations on our society? Well, let's see. Eating disorders are the third most common chronic illness among females. In one American survey, 81% of 10-year-old girls had already dieted at least once in their short life. 25 years ago, top models and beauty queens weighed only 8% less than the average woman. Now they weigh 23% less. The current media ideal for women is achievable by less than 5% of female population, and that's just in terms of weight and size. Since 1997, there has been a 465% increase in the total number of cosmetic procedures. So now it becomes real easy to answer the last question: who benefits from the appearance expectations? The 38 billion hair industry, the 33 billion diet industry, the 24 billion skincare industry, the 18 billion makeup industry, the 13 billion cosmetic surgery industry, and of course, the list goes on and on and on. That's a whole bunch of folks depending on us to see and believe messages that sell the social community expectations of appearance. If we don't believe we're too fat, ugly, and old, then they don't sell their products. If they don't sell their products, they don't make their house payments. The pressure is on. So when we ask and answer these big picture questions, we begin to develop critical awareness of the whole situation. The next step is learning how to use this information to reality check our own shame triggers against these answers. So let's do that now. Have your journal ready if you want to write down your answers. As usual, though, if you're welcome to do this reflection in your mind. And I already posted the questions in our Mindful Mornings private circle group as well. As always, take a comfortable position and take a few moments to settle. Settle into your body, your heart, your mind. Settle into this moment, right here, right now. Nice and soft breath, completely natural. See if you can find some spaciousness, some freedom in your breathing, so that all the experiences of the present moment can flow through you as energy that they are, without struggle. For the purposes of this self-reflection exercise, let's stay with the first shame category, appearance and body image. And of course, I encourage you to do the same reality check for each of the 12 shame categories when you are ready. So now I'll pose 6 reality check questions so that you can start learning more about your shame triggers by applying critical awareness. As always, I will take a pause after each question so that you have some time to ponder, either in your mind or in your journal. Question number 1. When it comes to appearance and body image, how realistic are my expectations? When it comes to appearance and body image, how realistic are my expectations? Question number 2. Can I be all these things all of the time? Can I be all these things all of the time? Do some of my expectations conflict with each other? Do some of my expectations conflict with each other? Am I describing who I want to be or who I think others want me to be? Am I describing who I want to be or who I think others want me to be? Question number 5. If someone perceives me as having these unwanted identities, what will happen? If someone perceives me as having these unwanted identities, what will happen? And last question. Can I control how others perceive me? Do I try to? Can I control how others perceive me? Do I try to? Now place your hands on your heart and send the energy of loving kindness to yourself with gratitude for being here, for doing these challenging exercises in this series. May I be filled with loving kindness. May I be well in body and mind. May I feel loved, cared for, at ease. May I know that I am enough. May I touch deep, natural peace. Now gently let go of your practice and as always, scan your body Notice what's going on for you right now, physically, emotionally, mentally. How are you really? And before we complete this section, I just want to mention that Brené Brown really emphasizes the importance of doing our own detective work while investigating the big picture questions. She even offers critical awareness resources for all the 12 shame categories on her website, brenebrown.com. So if you want to continue with these reality check questions for all the 12 shame categories, maybe you'll find Brené Brown's resources useful for your own investigation. Of course, I invite you to do this work, and I already posted all the needed information in our Mindful Mornings private circle group for your convenience. The link to Brené Brown's website with the resources, the big picture questions that we explored today, and the reality check questions that we just did in the practice section. As always, if you're inspired to share your thoughts, please do so. Thank you so much for being here today. Have a gorgeous day. I'll see you tomorrow.